Welcome to my channel. How are you guys? In today's video, we are going to see scandal that ended fast and loud. So let's start without wasting any time. There are several well-known TV shows about automobiles. One of the largest of all is Fast and Loud, which airs on the Discovery Channel. The concept is simple yet effective. Richard Rawlings looks for some classic cars with his staff at Gas Monkey Garage. When they do, they work on it and sell it for a higher price. The monkeys are the main focus of the program since they carry out these responsibilities and regularly find themselves in peculiar circumstances. Because of the series, Rawlings is now one of the richest individuals in the business, running his own empire and encouraging a great deal of others to follow in his footsteps. In addition to his many spin-offs and other projects, Kaufman's profile is expanding. The shop's challenging beginning given how incredible and well-run the Gas Monkey Garage was, as well as the reputation it has built for itself. Some people would find it difficult to accept this. Rawlings first established a printing business, which he later sold to launch a garage in Dallas, Texas. The company's early operations were run out of a little mechanic shop that was just over 1,200 square feet, which is where the issue started. In addition, there was no running water or air conditioning. Imagine yourself in a tiny, airless repair shop attempting to install Corvette Stingray so ancient that you are crouched beneath the vehicle. It is going to be terrible, I swear. Still, Rawlings came up with the idea to introduce a whole new reality show, the main focus of which would be the rat rod business. This notion did not exist when he was conceived, so they were in for a crazy ride. The Discovery Channel had to wait 8 years to record Rawlings' 2004 launch. It was a hit program that ran for 16 seasons, but as you'll see, it had some very major issues that ultimately led to its discontinuation. The inane work schedule the casting crew was used to lengthy days and nights. Extended work hours and physically demanding manual labor might make sleep deprivation worse. The ticking time bomb that is produced by that alone is heightened by the discomfort of sometimes being on camera and the feeling that one's privacy is being invaded. Some reports claim that the team shot and gathered the required photos for a full 16 hours. The unfortunate truth about reality television is that it uses the same number of scriptwriters as dramas or comedies. The success of the program has, to be honest, been primarily attributed to the special chemistry that exists between the members of the Gas Monkey group. However, as the performance has progressed, it has become more and more clear that their conversation is fictitious. Even while they first seemed more real, it's clear that a large number of the incidents, including some legitimately challenging tasks and conflicts in the garage, are manufactured. When it does, it's obvious that a dramatic situation was created, and the anticipation is increased by the editing. Even though the majority of the squad is made up of real individuals, Fast and Loud is just as much of a manufactured performance as any other. Every now and again, they were asked to imitate or even recreate certain situations. Indeed, Rawlings saw its performance. His disposition and attitude had a significant role in the 8-year success of Rawlings' program. He was still described as someone who just considers himself. The more people watched the program, the bigger his ego became. Workers found it difficult to have a positive attitude toward their boss, since he was never willing to take responsibility for his errors or failings. It's possible that Rawlings' actions contributed to the high staff turnover rate at the firm. If you were employed by Richard, it seems to reason that you would want to be liked by him. Tom Smith and the rules you really do either love him or hate him. Tom Smith was the most annoying member of the Gas Monkey squad, in addition to being a previous part of the Fast and Loud group. They would set special rules when Smith became too much for his other comrades' mental stability or sanity. Office manager Christy Brimberry said that the staff dealt with a talented but troublesome person using special methods. One admirer questioned Brimberry how she handled Tom, and her response suggested that she was treating him more like a kid than a shrewd businessman, despite his naughty behavior. If it didn't, Tom would act like a spoiled kid and become loud and obnoxious. The shop isn't what it used to be. We were all shocked to learn that Rawlings had let go of talented players Scott McMillan, Tom Smith, and Jordan Butler. Many viewers were incensed at the explanation for their termination, since they had a soft place for the mechanics and cast members. One day, when Jordan Butler and Tom Smith were shooting at the garage, a supporter approached them and requested to have a picture with the Rawlings Rolls-Royce. As a consequence, Rawlings' standing with the followers plummeted, and he surely felt horrible about it. Consequently, he had a part in creating Miss That Garage, a competition in which former Gas Monkey workers tried to imitate and surpass Rawlings' shot. However, why would Rawlings fire his staff members just to move them to a new show? It sounds like dramatization produced for a different program's audience. This involves some basic arithmetic. When fans found out that Aaron Kaufman was leaving the series, they were surprised. With his massive beard and easygoing manner, Kaufman was almost as important to the program's success as Rawlings. Kaufman was a brilliant mechanic who could troubleshoot almost anything, and he put up with his partner's wild antics. He was sincere about the garage and enjoyed the promotional aspects. In 2017, Kaufman decided to go it alone. Richard is surprised to hear the news from him on the air and almost begs Kaufman to go on. Because it costs more, you need to produce more of this. That's the part I didn't tell anybody. We've all had our earnings cut by 20% so that I may buy this building. Disagreements and business ventures. It is not enough for Richard Rawlings to just modify vehicles and create a TV series around it. Gas Monkey has to grow into a billion-dollar enterprise. He has developed a broad merchandising line that includes Gas Monkey Bar and Grill and Gas Monkey Live in addition to other businesses. Unfortunately, Gas Monkey Live, his dream concert venue, has officially closed due to limited profitability. It's a large institution, yet it can only accommodate so many people. Their landlady didn't think much of him either. Finally, the Gas Monkey Bar and Grill filed a $6 million defamation lawsuit against Rawlings in 2018. The bar staff complained that Rawlings was causing problems since the restaurant wasn't ready to open on time and was still under renovation. Perhaps it would be easier to list every supporter of Jess James. The talkative motorbike rider seems to be intentionally irritating a lot of people. It seems reasonable that he may argue with the outspoken Rawlings from time to time. It all began when they would routinely quarrel during biker build-off competitions over who could deconstruct motorcycles most expertly. James objected to Fast and Loud replacing Monster Garage as the favorite auto event. James had a truckload of horse dung deposited in front of Gas Monkey Garage as a response to Rawlings' outburst on TMZ over his pretending to be a Texan. They continued to berate each other in interviews in order to sustain a clear rivalry that isn't put on for the cameras. Worries about the creative process and Fast and Loud's death all would infer that the hugely popular program needed some kind of intervention, even if Rawlings had the last word in the issue. In an interview with Joe Rogan for his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, the reality star disclosed some startling details about the future of Fast and Loud. The Gas Monkey entrepreneur said on Joe Rogan's show that social media was less common 10 years ago when he began working for Discovery. Richard had millions of social media followers. Discovery controlled the whole network. For Richard, it was the end of an era. What might the many supporters of the quick-witted and energetic team anticipate in the next months? Making a podcast will be Richard's first endeavor. As a seasoned businessman, he observes that podcasts do a poor job of covering his sector. He was not allowed to perform one before due to his contract with Discovery. Longtime participant Aaron Kaufman is the presenter of two programs, Shifting Gears, his own spin-off, and Aaron needs a job.